Good day, my little robins. It's me, Beth. Another month has come and gone, which means, well, you get another monthly favourites, and since the month of September has come and gone, well, this is my September favourites video. Pretty self-explanatory by now. Before we begin, if you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. Enough rambling. Let's just dive straight into my September favourites. Up first is music, and during the month of September I got one album and one EP from two bands that I adore. Up first is the Rasmus and their 10th studio album, Rise. Holy hell, 10 studio albums and I'm still listening to the Rasmus. Is this my favourite Rasmus album? Not by a long shot. I will hold my hands up now and say that this feels like a pretty average Rasmus album. And it feels like, because it's been a few years since like their last album, Dark Matter, it feels like they made songs that were more relevant probably a couple of years ago than they don't really like hit the mark nowadays. So I kind of feel like they were a little late to the game, and I kind of would like them, you know, to go more back to like their emo gothic roots maybe in the future. But the album Rise did come out in time for me to binge listen before I see them live for the third time on Halloween. So, you know, I am sticking with this band. My two favourite songs on the album are Written in Blood and Evil. Band-Maid released the EP Unleash, and yes, I did react to the title song Unleash on the channel, and it made me want a Band-Maid anime so bad. I think Japan are coming so hard for like Western bands and like Western groups, you know, that we need to take note that, you know, there is a lot of good music coming out of Japan. My two favourite personal songs on the album are Unleash and Balance. Yes, I know they released a music video for the song Influencer, which is also on the EP, and I've slapped myself on the wrist, but I will be checking it out at the end of the week. So if you want to see my reaction, wait until Friday. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, Unleash, a great EP, and I cannot wait for whatever these girls do next. Across both my YouTube channels, this one and msbethrobinson94, there were a total of 13 reactions across a whole range of like genres and countries. But we kick off as always nowadays with K-pop. And the first like K-pop girl group that I reacted to was Stacey, and the two songs were Beautiful Monster and So Bad, and holy hell, is this group like vocally talented. I was there like, oh damn, they can sing, they can dance, and the two music videos, chef's kiss. Moving on is P1 Harmony, a K-pop boy group, and I reacted to Doom to Doom and Siren, and this boy group might have just become like my new boy group stan because of just how talented they are in singing, dancing, rap, performance. I was hooked on both the videos, and I have since like gone back along with Stacey and I've watched like interviews and like funny moments on YouTube, and I've kind of fallen in love with both of these groups. And well, the final K-pop artist is a soloist, and it is IU, who is pretty much undoubtedly the queen of K-pop. She's been around since like 2008, and I reacted to A Lilac and Good Day, and timeless beauty, ageless talent. If you want to check out an amazing like K-pop soloist, I highly recommend IU, because she does sad, depressing songs that sound uplifting. So there's like a song for every mood when it comes to K-pop. The UK only had one reaction, but it's from one of my favourite bands, and it is Architects, and it was the music video for the song Deep Fake, and holy hell, this has got me hyped for like the upcoming album, because every time Architects release a new song, it's very good at splitting the fan base 50-50 down the middle. But like the overall like agreement with Deep Fake was, this is a good song and the album is going to slay. It might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's my cup of tea. In Japan we had Bradia and the music video for the song Determination, and when I saw these ladies live like early September, when they performed this song live and pretty much every song off the album that this came from, I was like, holy shit, these ladies are talented, and it is such a shame, you know, that they do not have like more attention, because as we know, Japan releases a lot of good music, and I feel like band-maid just need like that push, like maybe if they tour with like a more significant band or just more people check them out. But I feel like they have a lot to give, and I definitely feel like they will come into their own more when they become more popular. As I already mentioned when I was talking about albums, I also reacted to Band-Maid and the music video for the song Unleash, which was the title song of the EP. Like I said, it made me want, and a lot of fans want, like a Band-Maid anime. There was so many like Easter eggs and like references to like previous videos that you had to watch it multiple times in order to like find out all like the little Easter eggs. Amazing. Japan, chef's kiss. Over in Europe, we had the Rasmus and the music video and the song Live and Never Die. Is it my favourite song off the album? No. But did it have elements that I liked? Yes, because at the beginning it did sound like a little bit of like the instrument from like In the Shadows, which is their pretty much the one song they were probably known for in the mid-2000s. I have my like fingers like crossed that, you know, this will sound like, hopefully it will sound good live when I see them in on Halloween, because in the music video they performed the song like semi-live, and I was like, okay, the crowd seems to like it, so maybe I'll like it. Who knows? Amaranth did a collaboration with Jennifer Haben from Beyond the Black, and they re-released their song Make It Better, and putting Jennifer on this song indeed made it better, because just hearing her like alongside like Elise, Nils, and I want to say, some of you said in the comments that it was Hendrik was still there, but if it was like a re-release they probably could have just used the version from like the Manifest album. I am seeing Amaranth and Beyond the Black mid-October, and they've got, I think, is it Butcher Babies and Ad Infinitum? I might be wrong about Butcher Babies. Who knows? I don't know why I've got Butcher Babies. It's because I've been listening to them recently, but it's a rescheduled tour from like at this point I can't remember if it was 2020 or 2021, but I finally get to see them live, and this song better make the set list, because I feel like it was like conveniently released just before they go on tour together. And the final country is America, and we got 2 reactions from 2 staple bands from my high school days who are still releasing music. First up is Pierce the Veil and Past the Nirvana. This was like an official lyric video, so we didn't get a music video, and it's got me really hyped, you know, for like this comeback, the new album, like new music, and I cannot wait to see them on tour in December. It'll be my second time seeing them. I think I last saw them like 2014, 2015, but yeah, Pierce the Veil, Past the Nirvana. It is a little different than what I was expecting from Pierce the Veil, especially after their last album, but I'm happy they seem to be going in a new direction sound-wise. And lastly, we had Black Veil Brides with Saviour 2, an emotional ballad like 10 years after the other song came out, another song called Saviour, so this is kind of like a sequel song, although I'm not quite sure if it's a sequel song, but it was an emotional ballad that was like, had me like tearing up at points, and I'm just there like, Black Veil Brides can come at it hard, but then they can also, you know, hit you with the emotional feels, and I love when like an emo, darker, like rock metal group do a ballad, because oh my god, Andy's voice, he suits the ballads, but then he can also like kick some ass. And that rounds up my YouTube reactions. Onto TV Land, and over on Discovery Plus, I am starting to get into like the Halloween spirit, because, you know, September is never too early to get into Halloween, especially if you work in retail, because we've already started selling Halloween stuff. We've also started selling Christmas stuff, so, you know, I don't really want to go into that. But anyway, 2 of my favourite paranormal shows have come back with new seasons. Firstly is Ghost Adventures, and they are back with like season 25 part 2. Because they advertised it as a new season, but when I clicked on it I was like, oh, okay, so they kind of split season 25 into 2. And I'm not mad, because sometimes it's good to take a break when it comes to those shows, and I know in the past they have like released like 20 episodes, but I definitely feel like splitting it up, and they've done other projects in between. Ghost Adventures, yes, it can sometimes be a little bit cheesy, a little bit cliche, and they've gone a lot more down like the demon focus route than like ghosts. But it's a staple from my high school days. I'm still watching, and I'll always support Zach, Aaron, Billy and Jay. The second ghost show is season 4 of Help My House is Haunted. Ian, Barry and Jane go into regular people's homes which are haunted and, well, help families deal and get rid of those like pesky ghosts. For me, if I had to compare this to Ghost Adventures, this is definitely like more, I would say like more emotional, because I love the chemistry that like the three like members have with like when they're talking to the families, they're talking to the friends. It just seems really genuine, and I think there's something more spooky about like thinking like you're not alone in the house that you live in compared to just going to some random abandoned building. But yeah, I know I've been tided over with like celebrity Help My House is Haunted before in the run up to this show, and I really hope we do get more of the celebrity version because it's really interesting. But yeah, it's got me in the mood for Halloween, and I cannot wait for more Ghost Adventures and Help My House is Haunted. Netflix got a lot of love this month, as it usually does, so maybe at this point I should get my own like Netflix subscription, because I'm currently using like my dad's subscription, and I know my brother and my mum are also on this subscription, and only 2 people can watch Netflix at one time. So we're kind of like, the amount of Netflix I have watched in the month of September, I know I've probably kicked some people off, but they haven't said anything, because I tend to watch my shows like late at night, early hours of the morning when hopefully no one's watching, fingers crossed. But yeah, Netflix, oh, we've had some good shows. Let's start off with an animated show. That's right, I'm changing up the format because I came across Bee and the Puppy Cat by chance. I literally clicked on Netflix one day and it just popped up, and I saw the trailer for it and I was like, I'm very interested. And pretty much the premise behind Bee and the Puppy Cat is you've got Bee, she's like down on her luck, she can't keep a job, and like she wishes for something, you know, to help her gain responsibility, and she gets Puppy Cat, who is like, I'm not quite sure if it's an alien, robot, cat, dog, but it's a bit witty, dry humour. If you liked like Rick and Morty and you like Gravity Falls, then I highly recommend checking out Bee and the Puppy Cat, because the 2 of them go on like adventures, and like she's trying to find where she fits in, can she keep a job, there is like drama, there is action, and it's all bundled into like this really like cute like pastel like aesthetic. But you realise that when you take away that pastel, you're like, oh okay, it's kind of dark, and it's kind of like a bit of a commentary on growing up and taking responsibility for your actions. It's humorous, and there were some genuine moments where I was like, huh, I'm so happy that Netflix just recommended me this randomly. Now onto a rewatch show. Last month it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and this month it is The Big Bang Theory. Now I've watched a lot of these like sitcoms, I've watched Friends, I've watched How I Met Your Mother, but Big Bang Theory is the only show I can honestly, like, hand on heart say that I have watched every single episode, because even like the filler episode do help like the whole season as a whole, so I'm just there like, yes, yes, yes. The cast are amazing, it is witty, it is funny, there are some genuine like laugh out loud moments, and I loved how like they kept like extending the cast when they brought in like Bernadette and like Amy to be like other love interests, and so the show definitely evolved. And I know there are some people that maybe will say like in later seasons it wasn't as good, and I'm not one of those people because I genuinely really like The Big Bang Theory, so if you want something geeky, witty, sarcastic, then check out The Big Bang Theory. Also at this point, if you haven't watched at least one episode, what are you doing? It seems to be on TV a lot in England, especially if you have E4. Whenever I walk into the canteen at work and someone's watching E4, 9 times out of 10 it's Big Bang Theory. A staple now, thanks to Netflix, is like an abundance of like K-shows, and I watched 3 the month of September, or should I say, well, I binged 2 of them and I've slow watched 1 of them, because I feel like you can definitely overload on like Korean dramas and comedies. Up first is Little Women, and now this is based loosely on the famous book of the same name. It is set in present day South Korea. You have 3 poor sisters who happen to come across a lot of money, and they each want to do something different, but they come up against like a really rich family and you're not quite sure what's gonna happen. I loved the chemistry between like the three actresses who played the sisters. Like, if you're gonna watch this, just watch it for the chemistry between the actors, because I was there like, oh, the heart of the story, the heart of Little Women is definitely the three sisters. It had a great supporting cast, it had a great story, definitely a high production value. But Little Women, if you want a different take on a classic story, check it out. You're All Surrounded may have come out in 2014 and I might only have got around to watching it in 2022 courtesy of Netflix, but here's the thing, if you're going to get into like K-dramas and K-comedies and like you think that the show is going to be one genre, go into a show expecting kind of like multiple genres like crossed over, because at the heart, You're All Surrounded is like a cop show. You know, it's like it follows like four rookie police detectives as they like fumble their way through cases. There are some very good comedic moments and you're just there like, oh, why did they do that? However, one rookie has a dark secret and a dark past and he is determined to like get the truth no matter what the cost. It is again, it is great chemistry between the cast, good story. And you never know who you can trust in like among like all the adults, you don't know who you can trust, so like you're always guessing and then you're always hit with like a different plot point and the story goes down like a way you're not expecting. You're All Surrounded. It only had 20 episodes and I believe so that means it only got one season. A lot of these like Korean shows only have like one season, but they can have between like 13 and 20 episodes, and you've got to remember the difference between I would say Korean shows and Western shows is sometimes the episodes can be like a minimal of like an hour, sometimes to an hour and a half, so you are getting a lot more bang for your buck. But yeah, if you want a cop show with comedy and a great cast, check out You're All Surrounded. And wrapping up the K-shows is a high school like rom-com, A Love So Beautiful. It is the cliche story of a girl liking a boy, the boy ignores the girl, and then another guy gives that girl attention, and then the first guy is like, I might have feelings for this girl. It is extremely cliche, it is cute, and I am obsessed with like Asian shows that are like set in like high schools, because here in England and mainly in the West we do not get like these cutesy like rom-com TV shows. And good story, great chemistry between the cast. I didn't binge this show, this was like a slow watch because I wanted to enjoy it, and I did enjoy it. So if you want something like a little bit like softer and a little bit easier to watch, then A Love So Beautiful should definitely make it onto your list. In the world of films, nothing new caught my eye, so I went and rewatched all three John Wick films in the run up to, fingers crossed, John Wick 4 coming out in like 2023. It feels like forever since we got like the third one and we've been waiting for number 4. Keanu Reeves is stellar in the role as like this infamous, like legendary, like boogeyman assassin that everyone is afraid of. There are a couple of rules you must know in the John Wick world. Do not kill John Wick's dog and do not steal his car because he will hunt you down no matter what the consequences. This film, like series, is definitely on the more gorier end and they don't shy away from like the violence, the blood, the guns, like the knife to the eye. So if you don't like blood and gore, this might not be for you, but if you want like an intense like action series, then check out John Wick. The final category is video games, and the month of September we got a Nintendo Direct, and as someone who loves like farming sims, cozy games and JRPGs, I'm going to be eating well into like mid 2023. I know the Direct was not up for like a lot of people's like alleys, but they pretty much showed game after game that I wanted to play. Okay guys, I took the plunge and I bought Disney Dream Light Valley. I got the cheapest Founders Pack, which I want to say was like, I actually can't remember the price, but it was under 30. And even I thought that was a little bit expensive because when I first started playing the game, it was glitchy as hell until they did release like a patch rather quickly, so I was happy because as soon as that patch was released, it did make the game playable. However, I don't know if it's because like I've been spoiled in the past with like similar games. I'm gonna say Animal Crossing, but like other games, like because there's like farming, there's collecting, and I'm there like, okay, cool, cool, cool. For me, if this didn't have like the Disney like slapped on with like all the Disney characters, I probably wouldn't have picked this up. But as someone who is a sucker and like a long-time Disney fan, I was like, yes, yes, yes. Is it a game that I have been playing continuously? No. Because right at the minute it's kind of still a little bit in like beta, so like not all the content's been put out, and I know it's going to be like a slow trickle once the game gets a full release. So I definitely feel like it's a game that I'm happy I downloaded, I've played it a bit, but I'll come back to it in the future when there's more content. Hoko or Hoko Life is an Animal Crossing clone. I'm just going to put my hands up and say it now because it is, and a lot of like YouTubers who are into Animal Crossing and cozy games are like recommending it, and so I did pick it up. And I will admit there are some like elements of it that, you know, I wish Animal Crossing New Horizons had incorporated. There's like a lot more like crafting and like decorating, and it is so good that you don't have to wait a day for like bridges, inclines to like be built, and you can move around people's homes without spending a fortune, Tom Nook. However, the one thing that I dislike about this game, and I think it's because I've been spoilt with like the Animal Crossing charm over the years, is the somewhat creepy animal humanoid creatures that inhabit the world. If I had to say creepy, I would say it reminds me of Zipper, who is the Easter Bunny in Animal Crossing that had a lot of people a bit like, ooh, what's his story? I'm all for cute animals, but when they're a little bit creepy and a weird colour palette, I'm just there like, huh, maybe it will grow on me, you know, the more I play it. I haven't played it a lot at this point because it actually only came out like at this point like a couple of days ago. And once like you get all the tools and you can explore the world and you can expand, hopefully, you know, it will be good and I can look past the creepy animals. But yeah, if you want an Animal Crossing clone, then check out Hoko or Hoko Life. And the final game I want to talk about was also on the Nintendo Switch, and I know this isn't like a new game, but it is a kind of a new game that came out on the Nintendo Switch, and it is Coffee Talk, and this is like a cozy, like lo-fi vibe game. You can complete it in like under 12 hours if you really go into it, so it's a really short game. And you run a coffee shop that's open all hours, and you deal with like regular customers who have problems. I loved some of the conversations and where some of like the story points went with the characters. You also have to make them coffee, and sometimes learning new coffee recipes without running to like Google was challenging, but the challenge never took away from like the game, and it was just, oh, it feels to me like it is definitely a game that's perfect for like fall, winter, because you can just like cozy up like in bed or on like your sofa with like a blanket and you can just play it. And I really digged like the like soundtrack, and I was like, yeah, this is definitely like lo-fi vibes. However, I did get this on the sale on the eShop, and after playing it, I wouldn't pay full price for this game because of how short it is. So if I was you, if you want to play Coffee Talk, either maybe check it out on a different platform where it's a little bit cheaper, or if you do want to play it on the Switch, wait for it to go on sale again. But yeah, that just wraps up my September favourites. Hallelujah, bring on October. So there we have it, guys and girls of the internet. That was just my September favourites video. As you all know, in the comments, I would love to know some of the things that you guys loved the month of September. If you want to recommend me anything, you know, if you want to see any videos in the future on the channel, the comments is the place to go, because I want to make content that you guys want to watch. Let's just wrap up this video before I continue to ramble. If you'd like to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlist depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth. Goodbye.